What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. Today, I'll be talking about 5 racetracks that could return to NASCAR in 2025. All these racetracks have been in the rumors and rumblings of potentially possibly making a return over the last couple of years. Today, I'll be talking about all the tracks that could make a return in 2025. So anyways, let's go ahead and just jump straight into it. The first racetrack that could return to NASCAR in 2025 is Rockingham Speedway. Rockingham Speedway hosted NASCAR races from around 1960 up until the 2004 season in the NASCAR Cup Series. Then the Truck Series made a little bit of a return from 2012 to 2013. Now, Rockingham Speedway came very close to hosting the All-Star race this year in 2024. However, that deal fell through. But Rockingham Speedway has been in the rumblings and rumors over the course of the last couple of years. They got a ton of grant money from basically North Carolina. They got around $10 million and been using it to repave the racetrack. They've also put a lot of safety barrier up on the racetrack so they can be up to date and up to par with specifics for safety. And they're making a lot of moves over at Rockingham Speedway. And the city and the people from that area have been really begging and pushing for Rockingham Speedway to return. I think there's a really strong chance and a very good possibility that this track is on the schedule in 2025. My best guess as the All-Star race. I think this could lead to Norfolk potentially getting a points-paying date in 2025, which they were very close to hosting a points-paying date this season. I think Rockingham Speedway, well, I don't think it is going to be on the schedule as a points-paying date in the 2025 season. I think they'll return as the All-Star race. Look, I know there's a lot of tracks in the North Carolina area, but the cities and area around Rockingham are really begging and pushing to get a lot of money so that they can host another NASCAR Cup Series date once again. It has been 20 years since the last NASCAR Cup Series date took place at that racetrack. I believe there's a really strong chance and a really great possibility that Rockingham Speedway will in fact be back on the NASCAR Cup Series schedule. They've got a good chance and opportunity to make a return in 2025. The second track that could return to NASCAR in 2025 is Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Circuit Gilles Villeneuve hosts NASCAR dates in the Xfinity Series from 2007 to 2012 for their date moved over to MidOhio. Circuit Gilles Villeneuve always put on some really solid and really great racing. It's no secret that NASCAR has been pushing very hard to get an international date on the NASCAR Cup Series schedule. And it's no secret that there was a lot of talk during last year in the middle of the year that they were in conversations massively to go up north to Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. They would like to host an Xfinity Series date as well with that package, maybe even a Truck Series date as well. But the Cup Series was very close to hosting a date at the track in 2024. Unfortunately, that deal did not come through. But like I mentioned, NASCAR is pushing very hard to go international. You think about the racing in Circuit Gilles Villeneuve when the Xfinity Series raced there. It was always excellent and very good. There was never a dull race there. You had the chaos in 2007 with Robbie Gordon, Kevin Harvick. You had the crazy rain race in 2008. You had the photo finish and drag race between Marcus Ambrose and Carl Edwards. You had the great photo finish between Boris Said and Max Pappas and Jacques Villeneuve being in contention for the win. 2011 was a lot of chaos as well. I would love to see this track make a return to NASCAR. I think the racing would absolutely be phenomenal and incredible, and I think Circuit Gilles Villeneuve 100% deserves to make a return. NASCAR really is heavily pushing to go international. I think this is going to be the big way that we see international race on the schedule in the future. I believe Circuit Gilles Villeneuve will make a return. I think there's a really good chance it happens. We know they're pushing for it very hard. I think there's a chance that Circuit Gilles Villeneuve will be back on the schedule in 2025. The third track that could return to NASCAR in the 2025 season is Road America. Road America hosted dates in the NASCAR Cup Series, of course, back in 1956, and hosted 2 races in 2021 and 2022 for the losing a date to the Chicago Street Course. And the Xfinity Series had raced here from 2010 to 2023. I think this is very likely that this track is going to make a return, and this is only a one-off of the track not being on the schedule, and here's why. Because of the Olympic break taking place where Road America has taken place, I do believe that Road America will 100% be back on the schedule. They need to race up in that Wisconsin area. They do have the Truck Series race in Milwaukee. But Road America has been an absolute staple for the NASCAR Xfinity Series, especially last year's race. I thought the finish in Xfinity last year was absolutely phenomenal and incredible. And you get huge and massive crowds that turn out to Road America every year. I think that is why it will be back on the schedule. I think it's a one-year hiatus for it to be off the schedule. I think it will come back. Again, there's less road courses in Xfinity this year. I think they're going to want to put more road courses on the Xfinity Series schedule, and for 2025 especially. And I think, like I said, that is going to lead Road America to getting a date in 2025 once again in Xfinity. I think they will make a return. A lot of fans love being up at that racetrack. It always provides some excellent, amazing, and incredible racing every single year. I do believe 100% that Road America will be back on the NASCAR schedule. And I think there's a chance the Cup Series could be on there for sure if the Chicago Street Course doesn't make a return in 2025. But I do believe the Road America will be back on the schedule for sure in the 2025 NASCAR season. The fourth track that could make a return to NASCAR in 2025 is MidOhio Sports Car Course. MidOhio has been hosting NASCAR races for about 10 years. The first time they raced there was the NASCAR Xfinity Series, and they raced there from 2013 up to, I believe, the 2021 season. For that transition away from Xfinity, over, of course, to the Craftsman Truck Series. They had a repay very, very recently, and that is one of the big reasons why MidOhio did not host a date this year in NASCAR, unfortunately. Now, that being said, there is a lot of talk and conversations from the president of MidOhio Sports Car Course that they are really pushing heavily and really, really hard to make sure they make a return to the NASCAR schedule in 2025. And personally, I think MidOhio always puts on a really good show. I think the 2023 edition was a little bit of a crapshoot, unfortunately, with all the rain that came into play, though I think the racing was solid, especially that 2016 rain race that took place. But the 2022 edition, we had a fantastic race between Parker Kligerman and Zane Smith for the win, of Parker Kligerman getting the victory, and that led to him going to Xfinity Series. I think MidOhio is an excellent racetrack. They always have really great and fantastic crowds every single year. They go out to that racetrack, and in general, I think MidOhio is a phenomenal and an amazing racetrack. And I think a lot of fans will be able to go back out to that racetrack in 2025 when it does return. Because like I said, I do believe that MidOhio has a very high and a really good possibility. I think it's about an 8 to 8.5 out of 10 chance that they will make a return in 2025. And the fifth and final track that I think could return to NASCAR in 2025 is the Chicagoland Speedway. Now, I think this is the least likely to make a return, but I still think there's a very high chance. We obviously know that NASCAR has really been pushing to be in the Chicago area. The last time Chicago was on the NASCAR Cup Series schedule was only back in 2019. They were supposed to race there in 2020, but there were reasons I'm not going to get into to why they did not race there. But everybody has been begging and pushing for Chicagoland Speedway to get another NASCAR Cup Series race, and here is why. Chicagoland Speedway is a 1.5 mile racetrack. We know that the next-gen car races exceptional and always amazing. And with how rough that surface is currently at the moment at Chicago, I believe that the next-gen car will put on an incredible and a fantastic show. I think the racing will be really great. You'll have a lot of side-by-side racing, a lot of comers and goers, and you always have seen a lot of fantastic and great finishes at Chicagoland Speedway, especially 2019 and 2018. 2018 being a slide job moment, the first time Dale Jr. was on a main broadcast. I think that Chicagoland Speedway will be back on the schedule because a really big thing will play a role is if they do go back to Chicago Street Course in 2025, which I think there's a chance they do, but it is the last year of their 3-year contract. There's rumors of Formula One coming into the area, and that could lead to Chicagoland getting a date back. Hopefully fans would show up if the track makes a return, but I do believe the Chicagoland Speedway has a very strong and a really high possibility and a great chance of making a return in the 2025 season. So Chicagoland is definitely one to watch out for as a possibility for a return in 2025. So those are the 5 racetracks that I think could make a return to NASCAR in 2025. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, notifications on, so if I win a video, does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support my Patreon as well. Let's go more of that and comment your thoughts below on today's episode. What racetracks do you see making a return to NASCAR next season? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Later today on the channel, I'm going to have my 2,000 video dropping on the channel, as I'll be reaching 2,000 videos today. Tomorrow on the channel, I'm going to have all the major NASCAR silly season moves that took place in the season. There will be a NASCAR news video on Tuesday, along with potentially the Truck Series race picks. Wednesday, I'm going to have the Xfinity Series race picks dropping potentially as well, along with, of course, the Daytona 500 race picks. And then, of course, on Sunday, we'll also have the Cup qualifying as well for the Daytona 500, and potentially Thursday, another NASCAR news video. I got a lot of great content dropping on the channel that I cannot wait for you guys to check out. So anyways, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode, and I'll see you guys next time for more great, awesome NASCAR content and other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.